Okay, we are actually up and live now. Allie, thank you for accepting this invite to be on my podcast from a complete stranger.
I'm sure we have mutual people.
That
Some
was yeah, that was random. So you must have grown up in the Camas, the Southwest Washington area, because I think that's where Matt's from.
Yes, I moved here in 1999 with my folks, and then we
Oh,
moved
okay,
to Camas in 2001.
okay,
So I've been in Camas a long time.
yeah. And I just discovered Matt last year when I started going to Lane Cellars. Like, I know a lot of local musicians in the area, and I go out to see them a lot. And if I thought he said, because I told him I was doing the podcast with you, I thought he said, did his mom own a coffee shop that you worked at?
Yeah, Pam Brown started a coffee shop in downtown Camas where she sold Italian wares, and it then she decided to serve espresso, which was fantastic. She brought in Father Bruno from Italy and was able to serve coffee to the community. And then Jody
Wow.
Vaughn bought it from Pam Brown, and I started working for Jody in 2011. So I got to meet Pam and Matt and continue on. Yeah.
Now, Italian wares, what does that mean?
Like dishes, and I don't think
Oh,
it was making enough money just selling Italian gifts, you could say. So that's
hmm.
when we were so glad that she thought, I better bring in coffee and espresso, and that just boomed.
Was this like in downtown proper, Camus, or like in a house, or?
It was so if you've been to Birch Street Lounge, there are two doors. The left side was actually used to be Cafe Piccolo.
Oh, okay. Was that your first barista job?
You know what's funny is I was actually hired as a barista at Starbucks in 2007 and worked there for a couple of years.
So that's how you kind of learned to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
you're currently working at a coffee place now, right?
Yeah, I'm at
Uh,
Squeeze and Grind now.
and that's in Camus also?
Yes, as soon as you enter Camas, when you pass the mill, it's straight ahead. It's a green building.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah.
And I haven't done I've done enough research to be able to ask you some questions, but I have learned um it's much better if I don't come in with a script. I might have already told you this, because then the
Mm.
conversation just flows naturally. And like within the first 10 minutes, I'll start finding out things. Even if it's somebody I know, I'll find out things I didn't know about them. And I just like the flow to happen naturally. But yeah, it's kind of, I have picked up that you seem to have a lot of irons in the fire. Um, you do a lot of things. Poetry, yoga, and I when I first reached out to you, I mean, you kind of seem to be really into health and wellness.
hmm
And then obviously you're a barista. Uh, but yeah, so this is kind of funny. How do you compare working at Starbucks versus an independent coffee place?
Yeah, that's always so interesting. It's been so long since I've been in the Starbucks culture. When I first started there, it is a great place to start,
Hmm.
especially like at 18, getting introduced to coffee. They give away a lot of coffee. I mean, they're a corporation, right? So they can afford a lot of things. Usually, at least it was back then, it was nice to learn coffee. I remember they were very busy and they were like, okay, it takes you 3 months to get comfortable on bar. And so I'm really thankful for my time at Starbucks to get an introduction to the world, especially now working at independent shops. It is really nice if you already kind of know coffee and espresso, and we do get a lot of younger folks applying, and I will often encourage them to go and apply at places like Starbucks
Oh.
or Brewed Awakenings, where there's a little bit more flexibility in that because again, independent, there's a lot more freedom, which is really nice because it's not
Hmm.
as like structured, and at the same time, you need to be able to manage yourself a little bit more. Um, and I like that a lot. I like some of the freedom. I like, you know, yeah, I really like smaller shops. I feel like I was able to get to know owners a lot more
Hmm.
personally.
Yeah.
At Starbucks, it is nice that there are layers of management where you've got, a manager, an assistant manager, shift supervisors, and then baristas.
Hmm.
And but then here I've just gotten to know so many incredible business owners and really been able to take pride in the locations I've worked at.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that maybe connecting. You're probably into community and kind of working at
Mhm.
an independent local location, a mom and pop, you might want to call it.
Mhm.
at this point, you had the foundation from Starbucks. You know how to make a latte.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And be busy and be able to like keep your cool when there's
oh,
a lot of going on. You got to That's really important in customer service.
that is good training. Yeah, I just thought about that now because obviously, I go to Starbucks, but that will teach you how to manage high volume.
Exactly.
Yes, and
Exactly.
keep your cool and definitely all about customer service. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I
So,
mean, there's so many coffee houses, right? So where do you decide where you're going to go? It's really a lot of times, yes, the coffee needs to be good, but it's the people, it's the connections.
it absolutely is, yes, because you're right. There's a coffee shop on every corner. So
Hmm.
what's going to differentiate you from the person, the house down the street? Um, let's promote that business then. Remind me of the name again where you currently work.
Squeeze and grind.
In Camas. Got it.
Yes, yes,
Right.
because we do smoothies and coffee.
And do you have indoor seating or is it like a walk-up drive-through?
We do. It's pretty incredible. I want to say it was opened in the 90s. I apologize to forget the original owners. I used to be a Dairy Queen. Then it
Okay.
got changed to Squeeze and Grind. The community actually voted on that name. That's how they came up with the name. It was a community chosen name.
That is cool.
Yeah, and then Marcy Wilcox took over and she ran Squeeze and Grind for a long time, really built the business. She's an incredible woman. And then she just recently sold it to Scott and Cindy Boyles.
Okay.
Yeah, and they took over in April. So it's been really fun. They really revamped the inside to make even more indoor seating.
Okay.
So that's
That
been
is super
really
cool.
good.
And you've been there for how long now?
What's funny is not that long. I actually worked at Cafe Piccolo in downtown Camas. Most people associate me with there.
Okay.
I was there for about 12 or 13 years.
Oh, geez. You've been
And
doing this a while. Okay.
I know, and I almost bought the business, and that was a really cool story of a life experience where I thought I was ready to buy the business, and I am so grateful for other members of the community that were helping me, and I got to have that experience of like going to banks and getting ready to maybe buy and be a business owner, and things just stopped aligning. And I had to really sit with myself and realize like that's okay. You think you're going to do certain things and you might have dreams and goals, and then it just shifts and change, and to be okay with that and realize I love coffee and I love people. It's okay if I don't own the business. I can
Mhm.
still take pride in what I'm doing, promote it, kind of do my own like management in a sense. I'm not quite like an official manager, but I do enjoy leadership positions. So
Mhm.
I always appreciate when several business owners I've known have given me that opportunity.
So
So
you're almost kind of saying the universe was trying to talk to you, and maybe it just wasn't supposed to happen at that time.
exactly. And who knows if it ever will? I don't necessarily. I might have something in the works. I've slowly been leaking. There's a couple that approached me about running something, and I am interested in that because I love the drive-through. It's a lot of fun. It's really busy.
Yep.
And I love that. I got to know so many people through Cafe Piccolo, and then coming up to Squeeze and Grind because it's up the hill a little bit in Camas. I still have a lot of the same regulars
Hmm.
and new people that I didn't even know in Camas. And I look forward to, I'm 37 in April. I look forward to also going back to like a smaller, more cafe style. I really like serving things in mugs for here and taking time to kind of like, you think of coffee, it's fast paced.
Yeah.
And I like handcrafting beverages though. Like,
Yeah.
I get it that a lot of people need their coffee to go on their way to work and school, and with at their moms, I enjoy that. And I look forward to also being a place in the future where like you can slow down and be a little bit more intentional, bring your laptop and your book and journal and settle in. So we'll see where life takes me.
Yeah, you're right. Coffee, I mean, but everybody's on the go, our fast-paced, especially American life, although it's happening all across the world. But um, it is nice you're almost talking about building a community space or a place where people can come. The point is to slow down, soak it in for a minute, take a break, and enjoy the space, whether it's, read a book while you're having some handcrafted coffee, get to meet people and
Hmm.
get time making spend time making connections, stuff like
Oh,
that.
so huge. People always ask me how I know so many people. I'm like definitely working through coffee houses, and I've had an opportunity to date a lot as well. And everyone's like, "How do you meet guys?" I'm like, "Working." And like usually it's not too weird where I'm like, always being approached at work.
Right.
And it's incredible the opportunities it's provided me, whether
Yes.
it's hobbies, romance, friendships. Like I've just had a lot of opportunities to meet so many people through coffee houses. It's a great place to meet people.
Yeah, and it was funny. We talked when we were first scheduling this. I just thought about that. That's why I asked if Squeeze and Grind had an indoor space. So yeah, you made the comment, oh, a podcast in a coffee shop. How would that work? It is very there's and you have to be smart about how you do it. But if you're open about it and you just approach these businesses, like I told you, I've got um, Brothers Cascadia Tap Room in downtown Vancouver. I've recorded like four there. Tap Union lets me record there. There's a Taps Growler House in East Vancouver there that lets me record.
Mm.
I randomly went over and did one in Central Oregon. You know where Smith Rock is?
Yeah, I love Smith Rock. It's great.
Yes. So that little town is Terrebonne. And I had a high school friend who he passed away last year, unfortunately, from cancer. But I went over to reconnect with him. I hadn't seen him since high school, and I found out he was ill. I was like, let's do this because I don't know if you were able to listen to the links I sent you, but kind of the point of
Mhm.
this podcast is to capture people telling their stories before they're gone. I'm not trying to find people that are like are sick and going to it. It doesn't matter. I just want to capture your story and then share it with your children and everybody else to come. But I went over there and there was right well, if you've been to Smith Rock, right on the main drag is this big like bar grill called the Pump House.
Mm.
And I was like, God, we could probably do it there. But again, you have to be tactful. I wasn't going to call them and just some stranger a voice on the phone and ask. So I just showed up early in the afternoon, went in and was like, hey, do you mind? I have a friend here, lives in town. We just want to do a podcast, but I just need a small booth. We'll set in the corner. I make sure I point the camera only at us so that random strangers aren't going to get on video and yada yada. And they were amazing. We recorded like an hour and 45 minutes.
Wow.
They were really gracious. So yeah, you just go in, tell them what you're doing, and obviously I'm going to spend money there,
Yeah,
so they get that. But yeah, and the setup is so easy. It's a laptop, this is my microphone.
nice.
Or if it's in person, it's just two tabletop mics.
Yeah,
But yeah, because I'm also going to promote the business on the podcast and thank them
awesome.
for, so yeah, it's really cool. And the mics I use in person are dynamic mics, so they have a really small halo of what they're going to pick up, so you don't really have to deal with the background noise. It's not going to pick up the people even at the table next to you.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate being able to do this here. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I already
Yes.
let her know, but she loves to sleep in on a Saturday, and I can leave her here. I live in a really safe neighborhood, but it's just kind of nice to just know that I can be here while
Oh,
she.
no, no, this is perfect. I just wanted to explain to you how that works. It's really that simple. It's a laptop, two mics, and I just need a booth.
That's so
Um,
rad. That's amazing.
Yeah, but so what I have, because most of them have been in person, but I have really started to appreciate doing the Zoom thing is so easy. Like I didn't have to shower, I just got up, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's so convenient and easy. Um, but I do really like the in-person conversations just because, I mean, you can connect either way. The only glitch about, and you've done this on Zoom or any meeting software is there is just a hint of a delay, but Zoom's pretty gosh damn good. Like
Mm,
uh, you have to just remember that split second pause to let the other person receive what I just said, kind of a thing. Uh,
interesting.
but
Yeah.
Zoom it's pretty instant. There's not much of a delay. And it's awesome because like as it's recording, whoever talks, it'll go to them. And then if you start talking, the screen will change to you and your name's at the bottom. It's all like just ready made for podcasting. Oh, but you mentioned you're April, so am I. Well, I'm April 14th.
Oh, awesome. April 27th.
Oh, so you're Taurus. My
Yeah.
so
Yep.
my dad was a Taurus. He was the 22nd. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
But I bring that up because I know you have I did read somewhere, I don't know if I something I read that you wrote or listened to one of your videos, but you dabble in astrology or are you really into it or
I am, I started paying attention to it many years ago, and I just find it really fascinating, especially because I got deeper into it than just your sun sign. When you
Mhm.
start realizing that there's so much more going on to discover, it just helps you understand that there are so many layers to people. And I had a friend, we almost started a podcast. We would joke like, it's not necessarily good or bad with anything in astrology. It's just knowing where people are at and knowing like, different personality types and different aspects. And it's fun, really. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, my mom was the inspiration for this podcast. But she in the last 20, 30, probably 20 years of her life, she got to the point where she could like she would do my chart. Or yeah, I've been married in the past. So like she would do it if I met a girl, she'd like do a chart
Yeah.
and she was the same way. She was like, "Look, this isn't telling you whether, this is bad or this you're not going to be a good connection. It just says these are characteristics and traits that you both have, and these might be areas you're compatible. These might be areas that you're going to have to work to struggle, not struggle with, but could be issues.
Yeah.
Um, and I
Yeah.
kind of I kind of believe whether it's astrology, Buddhism, any religion, um, I kind of think it's all talking about a lot of the same stuff. It's just a different interpretation of it.
Hmm.
Um, and my mantra has always been whatever belief system, whatever it takes to make you a better person, I'm all for it. I'm
Hmm.
agnostic, but my manager at Costco invited me to his church. I went to a church service with him, and it was great.
Nice.
Lots of good people. Um, and I feel like, yeah. So, and you're a Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there's no, I mean, you don't find obviously any conflict with the astrology versus Christianity.
I don't. Many people do. It is definitely a struggle. Um, that there are a lot of things I dabble in that aren't necessarily appreciated or by certain folks. I just had to start finding my own authentic way about things.
Mhm.
I just love a connection to the divine, like you're saying. I think it's really important for folks, like, especially when I'm like teaching yoga or talking about different things. We want to take care of our physical, we want to take care of our emotional, take care of our mental, and it's like the spiritual. And however that works is awesome. And sometimes it's so helpful to have a connection in something that is greater than you. I mean, and a lot of times for people, it's nature. I have one of
Yes.
my best friends, she calls it God is the great outdoors. And so I
Yes.
think that's also great. It's just like, and also believing that there is love and strength and whatever you need that you can draw from that is coming outside of you is also a really helpful belief. Like, okay, I don't always have to feel amazing, but I can come to a space where I can meditate or use different resources and tools and kind of draw in that energy so that I can keep giving back. It's really helpful.
Yes, and I would assume that the yoga and the meditation thing go hand in hand, right?
Hmm.
I have taken one yoga class from Julia. She has the studio right next to Trapdoor Brewing there.
Hmm.
It was great, and it was funny because I'm actually a pretty flexible person, especially for a guy.
Hmm.
But she twisted me in ways I've never been twisted, and it was just a basic kind of the basic introductory. I forgot what she called it, stretching class or something. But it did teach me like, oh. Um, you can't just stretch for 10 seconds. Like the point is to relax and let the muscles release. And you need to
Hmm.
hold these positions for, longer than 10 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I was traditionally trained in vinyasa. Like that's something I really like, where you're one breath, one movement. Now I teach a yin yoga class, which is really good. It's in the evenings, and that kind of slows you down.
Yeah. Where do you teach the class at?
I teach at Live Well Camus. It's also
Okay.
in downtown Camus.
Okay. And then yin. So there's different disciplines of yoga. Yin yoga.
Yeah, yin yoga is great because it's all on the ground. So I like to let people know we don't do standing or balancing. It's all on the floor. It's a floor-based yoga.
Okay.
I think it was created in the 70s. Paul Greeley is the name that comes to mind. And some of the names are different that were given to yin postures, but we do holds for about 5 minutes and it works on
Oh,
connective tissue and the
oh,
fascia.
yeah.
So it's just so nice. And then while you're in these poses, I do something unique where I create a theme and I'll do series. So right now I'm going through the wisdom of the trees. And
Okay.
that's really fun. So every Thursday night at 6:15, I talk about, or 6 o'clock now, we moved the time. I talk about a different tree. And I talk about like the science of the tree, traditional uses, and then I start going into cosmic connections.
Yeah.
And then I always, no matter what class I'm teaching, I always bring in a spiritual aspect and ask you to reflect. I
Yeah.
also play some really nice, relaxing music, so you can also just zone out. And
Yes.
I also offer Reiki during those classes as well, which is really nice.
Reiki.
Reiki, Reiki, I was trained in it. I'm a Reiki level 2. It's a hands-on form of healing. And as I was raised Christian and have a belief in Jesus, it's also like imagine just getting an opportunity for someone to gently pray for you,
Oh
right? And
yeah.
to, like wish you well.
Yeah.
And then I also use it as a moment where I might put my hand gently on your head or on your shoulders and I will ask for your well-being, your
Mhm.
healing, and then I also I quiet my mind and I allow messages to come through.
Mhm.
And that's why sometimes I offer private Reiki sessions for like an hour at my house
Mhm.
and I can work through all your chakras and just take a moment to allow messages from the divine come through. And I stopped questioning them because I've been doing it for quite a couple of years now, at least. And it's a really incredible way for me to connect with the spirit realm by just letting go any expectations. And it's come up in funny ways where I'll mention something to somebody and of course they're like, "Yeah, I have a connection to that. That means something to me." And I'm like, "Well, that's good because I try to just let myself be like a conduit and a
Mhm.
channel and not put my own personal feelings into it. I'm just like, "Hey, this is a reminder for you." So,
What okay, this is that just made me think of something because people that aren't trained in it or don't do it, chakra.
oh yes,
What
yes.
is so let's for the lay people out here like me,
Yeah.
what is that? Because you hear these words in movies or just people
Hmm.
talk about it. Um,
Yes.
and if you're not curious, I'm a very curious person. I like to learn about things. So I don't, so like, yeah, what does that exactly mean?
So a chakra or chakra, I've heard both ways. I believe it's actually traditionally chakra instead of chakra, but you know what? It's all good. They're energy centers. And
Okay.
it's funny because you're right. There's a lot of jokes about aligning chakras, but really they're just energy fields and you've got 7 main ones. You have many and they're different colors, they're different meanings. And so like most notably like the heart is so important. It's associated with the color green or pink and you can just feel the energy coming. Of course, it's a place of love and compassion. It's also a place of hurt. You might get a lot of issues with forgiveness. I've gotten migraines here, and so
Mhm.
this is like your third eye. There's a lot of people that know about. There's also names in Sanskrit for all of these, like Anja chakra, and yeah, it's really nice to like go through each of them. And I've noticed that sometimes they can be really open, almost to the point like somebody had a very open throat chakra, and I was almost like pulling it back because they were so verbally expressive. They didn't realize how their words come out sometimes. And then there are other areas like solar plexus over your navel.
Mhm.
That's a huge one for folks as well because it cannot be activated enough. And so
Oh,
you can really have fun with this system where activation would be like joy and motivation, wearing the color yellow, eating things that are yellow, and like dance a lot of times comes up or movement. Or I'll tell people like activate this area by just engaging your core and they're all ruled by different elements and the
okay.
solar plexus is fire so you can do things that are like fiery. So I don't know, it's a really interesting way of looking and like you said it's not necessarily a religion.
Yeah.
You can be a Christian and know about this system, you can be a
Yeah.
Buddhist and know about this system. So
Well, and you mentioned that there's words for this in Sanskrit. Like,
mhm.
so this this knowledge, a lot of this knowledge has been known to humans for thousands of years, and of course, we go through generations and time passes and then languages change and it gets translated and yada yada. But it's not, a lot of this knowledge has been here for a long time. Um,
Mhm.
and so again, and sometimes it gets lost, Sometimes the society, humans lose knowledge and they have to rediscover it. When you mentioned the abdomen, maybe it's not activated enough. So how might that manifest itself to the person if that's their issue?
A lot of different ways. Emotionally, this is a lot of like your worry. People that have anxiety, worries, it can come from this area a lot. So that can manifest in like nervous, right? Also, like if you have lower back pain, it might be because you don't have a strong enough core, like having issues, maybe bloating. I mean, any
Hmm.
kind of issue you could come from the stomach and the core area is how like an outward manifestation. And I love that in society and living in America, we have, I like Western medicine, right? So we're like, fix problems by eating well and exercising. Like, that's important. And I think we're also becoming more aware of a holistic approach where we
Yes.
also need to consider the spirit that we're all spiritual beings and we need to consider, emotional and mental health kind of comes into everything. So I think it's
Yeah.
important to kind of get in all the different facets when we
Yeah, and the reason I was asking, drilling down on that was it kind of made me think. I've been in therapy for like 10 years, and one of my therapists, I have more than one, but we do what he kind of calls parts work. But it's all based on past trauma and how it manifests itself. But yeah, when we're visiting a specific topic and when we're addressing a certain part, that was triggered by something in me, a lot of that manifests itself in certain areas. Sometimes it's a sinking feeling in my heart. Sometimes it's a bad feeling in my stomach. So I
Mhm.
think we're kind of touching on the same thing there.
100%, 100%. And I think that awareness is really important. I'm noticing the more I notice and become conscious of things, it's so easy to bypass things and hurry through it, or even more so to feel like guilty or bad about it when it's like things are going to happen. We're going to have things come up. We're going to have emotions. We might get angry sometimes or whatever. And instead of just being like, oh, I feel so bad that I'm mad, it's like allow yourself to feel the emotion, recognize where it is, honor that emotion, honor that struggle, and think about, okay, what is this saying about me? Because I used to struggle with jealousy a lot, like, and I've really let that go in recent years. And it's come up in relationships, at work. And that's something where I had to start realizing where was that coming in my body? Like it's not that it's necessarily always a bad thing, but how do I want to approach that? Do I want to live my life being jealous of other people's successes? No,
Yeah.
I want to be
Yes.
happy for them. And then I want to be inspired and be
Yes.
like, oh, because I got into slacklining a little bit. That's a whole nother thing. I'm not quite, but I had to realize I will never be on a high line like that. And that's okay. I can live vicariously through these people and love the sport. And also, I mean, I'd been on a midline once and I was like shaken. And I was like, I don't even know how people stand on this. But the more you start, or you just start experiencing things with people and having joy with them and realizing you can be grateful for them and grateful for yourself, it just starts to lessen a lot of these feelings that we don't want to sit in too long.
Yes, and that it's just what you said there about how these emotions, jealousy, whatever coming up, they're not necessarily bad, and that kind of relates to the parts work. It's like, hey, these are all and it's not like I have multiple personality disorder, but it's a method of handling these things. It helps sometimes to give them their own identity, just as an exercise. But you have to recognize that these parts are there. They're trying to protect you.
Hmm.
So it's not there. They're saying they're talking to you for a reason. So you need to acknowledge them, let them know you value them, but you still like I'm in control. I appreciate you and I want to hear what you're saying because for whatever just triggered you while you're jealous or why you're angry. There's probably a reason for that, and I want to listen to you, but you don't get to take over the conversation. I'm still going to react properly, and I want to hear what you're saying because I value you, but you don't get to run my life, kind of a
Hmm.
thing. Yeah, which that
Yeah.
again, that has to dovetail into meditation, yoga, chakras, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Spirituality. It's really important to me. Like, it's just interesting because I do tend to be a very physical, grounded, earthy person. I like work. I like to clean. I like talking to people. So the more I do practices and things that connect me with myself, get me reflecting, have me, slow down a little bit. I enjoy those as well. And so I have a lot of energy. People are always like, wow, you're high energy. I'm like, yeah, and they don't always see I do take time to just sit and be quiet and think. And it's really good.
Yeah, that made me laugh too that you mentioned your daughter likes to sleep in. Yeah, I'm like her. You morning people, I can't relate. I like to sleep.
Yeah, yeah. I love letting her sleep in. It's middle school, right? There's a lot going
Yes.
on, and she's doing really well. And I'm just thankful for her every day. It's
Well,
intense being a single parent, and it's the best thing of my life. So I'm
yeah,
really
it is. I can't imagine. I mean, I have a daughter, but
oh,
me and her, my daughter's 34, but
nice.
me and her mom separated when she was like 2 years old, and she grew up. We've always been close and connected, but she was lived with her mom, so I can't relate to what you're going through. But yes, I know it is. It's a struggle, but it's also amazing,
Yes,
obviously.
exactly. Yeah, it's funny because I've decided. And it's worked really well the last several years is I just can't always take on people's projections, and we kind of know that. Like if I've mentioned Amity was 2, they're like, oh, that's so difficult, or oh, she's a teenager, she's in middle school, and people will want to be like, oh, that's got to be so hard. And I'm like, I love it. I've loved every stage, every season. I just tend to look at things half glass full. I don't tend to focus too much on, I mean, there are difficult times, and I just know eventually she's going to grow up and be, get out of the house and doing her own
Yes.
thing. So I just really want to cherish the moments, even if it means she's tired more than she's like rude. She's not usually a rude person, or she gets sleepy a lot. And there is a lot going on in middle school where I kind of have to like ride the waves where it changes a lot week to week. And I'm like, okay, or I'll hear some shocking things and I'm like, okay, like I just like to
Yes.
be open and receiving and just grateful that she talks to me.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's funny. My friend Krista is a middle school counselor, so just what you're talking about there, 5 days a week, that's her job. She
Wow.
sees the struggles that fifth through eighth graders are going through. That's a very formative time in their life,
Yeah.
obviously. So yeah, we'll have to come in for coffee, and you need to meet her because she.
Yes. That'd be awesome. I appreciate their work. Anybody that works for the school district in any capacity, I'm always
Yes.
going to thank you for your work.
Yes.
So
They need
important.
a raise, man. They're not paid enough. Oh my God.
It's a lot. There's a lot.
We're almost a half an hour into it, and I still have this, which again, this is why I just like talking.
Oh yeah.
But let's get to your origin story a little bit. And
Okay.
I always say this too, don't share anything you're not comfortable with. I'm not trying to get any gossip or anything, but I am curious about, your origin story to how you got to where you are now. You
Mm-hmm.
said you moved to Camas in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Prince song, by the way. I love that. Um,
That's awesome. Yeah,
but where were you born?
I was born in Whittier, California.
Oh yeah, I know it. That's in the Bay Area.
It's
Oh,
southern. It's actually like more east Los Angeles,
oh, never
Whittier.
mind. I'm sorry. No, I got confused. Okay, yeah, yeah. I know it because I did in a different life. I did a few years as an over-the-road truck driver, so I've been all around the country.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so born in Whittier,
Mhm.
and then down there until what age?
I moved like a few weeks before I was 10. My dad was working at a recycling company, but he was also volunteering to do worship leading,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted to do it full time. So I think he started looking at different churches hiring. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She homeschooled my older sister and I. And so when the opportunity came up to visit up here in February of 99, I remember we got lucky. It snowed, and I had never seen snow
Oh
being
my
raised
God.
in California. And I was just like, this is incredible. So 2 months later, our whole family moved up here. The community we were a part of was really welcoming. They threw me a surprise party when I didn't know anybody when I was 10 in April. And yeah, that was really, really fun.
You landed in Camas for the warship position for your dad.
Yeah, well, we did rent a place in Vancouver for a couple years. I remember we lived by the Vancouver Mall while my
Hmm.
parents found folks to help them build their house in Camas.
Nice.
At the time, it was just before the big boom. Like, I don't remember when we moved to like when we first moved to Washington. Everybody in California was like Washington D.C., Vancouver, Canada. Like nobody heard of it. Wasn't very popular as it is now to move up here.
Yeah.
Nobody really heard of it, and especially Camas. Everybody knew it as the stinky mill town.
Yes.
Everyone's like, you're gonna live in Camas? That like, so it's like that was really funny to get here just before it really started booming. But that's why people used to give Californians a hard time. I'm like, don't worry about it. There's a lot of, and I have like a soft spot for California. I still idolize it a little bit, even though I know it's overcrowded and changed a lot. It's like a lot of music came from that area. So
Oh
I'm,
gosh, yes.
yeah.
And I was technically born in Eureka, California, but I moved up to the Canby area, which is outside of Portland, at age 2, and then
Hmm.
just lived there all through high school. And I lived in Bend for a couple years, and I've now been in Salem and Monmouth, and but I've been in Vancouver for 14 or 15 years, basically all this area.
Wow.
And yeah, and you've been here since '99, so you've seen it change.
Yeah, I always tell people, I remember when Mill Plain, the north half was all an airfield. It used to,
Yes.
I like that was, I mean, and then it just stopped. There was like hardly any 192nd, and then there was no like overpass in Camas. It was just the 14. There was like a little road called Brady Road.
Hmm.
I mean, there was just so many different things about this area.
Yeah, because that SR-14 didn't used to be that easy to just go through Camas.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's such a trip. And I work at the Costco on 192nd over there.
Oh,
So
nice.
there was a time where that was just a country road, or it wasn't even there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that wasn't even there. Yeah, I remember because that was actually the Starbucks I worked at was at the end of that road. And it took a while to like break through that. Like that area where there's the Olive Garden, the Chick-fil-A, that was nothing. It just
Yeah.
stopped there. And maybe
Yep.
it was like a smaller road, right? And then they started building Mill Plain all the way down, creating 192nd and all that. And so yeah, and that was the Starbucks I got trained at was the one that's near that big Walmart and that
Oh yeah.
middle school.
Yes.
That was one of the last survive. It's not there anymore. It didn't have a drive-through. So, working drive-through has been really humbling because I'd worked a little bit of it doing coffee, but again, I just like in person like you. It's less
Yep.
like so that was yeah, it's gone now. I think it's an ice cream place I'd like to try.
Oh, I know which one you're talking. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. They just shut it down maybe a year ago because they built a new one right across from my Costco.
Oh
And
yeah.
that one has a drive-through. It's right where the what's it called? Hops and Drops. There's a new Hops and Drops restaurant there. There's a some kind of a clinic, like an urgent care clinic, and they built that whole new development on First and 192nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the new Starbucks with a drive-through,
I
and they
see.
closed down the other one.
Nice. Yeah, but yeah, I liked that I was raised in Southern California. I have a lot of good memories of going to Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm. And then it was really cool to see my dad be excuse me, be able to chase his passion and get hired at Summit View Church full time to do music. And my mom, I always grew up with her volunteering at Sunday schools. So
Okay.
I got a lot of opportunities to be around her teaching children. My dad taught music. And then my older sister has been a huge blessing in my life as well. I tell people we've never been in a fight. And they're always like we've just never had a fight. She's always been incredibly kind. She's actually battling cancer right now. So I always like to give, prayers and good energy towards her.
Absolutely.
She's doing well. It's just a lot. And she when we moved up here in 99, trying to remember, it might have been she's 4 years older than me. At one point, she moved back to Northern California or moved to Northern California and met her
Okay.
husband there. And then I still stayed around this area. Even though I moved out from my parents, I still stayed local. She had one of her daughters there after I had my daughter, and then she moved back up here. So we're a small family, but we're really grateful that she's here with her husband and her 2 kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they're in
Especially
Camas.
going through this, it's nice to have that support system around you.
Oh, it's huge. I love my nieces. My daughter and her children are good friends. There's like three cousins, they're all girls. And so it's really great to be by each other, spending
That
time.
is very cool. So
Mhm.
just the one sibling?
Yeah, just the one sibling.
And then your parents are, so your dad's teaches music. He's obviously a musician.
Yeah, that was such a cool thing. He used to be in bands a lot when he in the 80s and 90s and then yeah, doing worship leading and he's actually led at so many different churches. He's guest led or just played music. Now he's kind of stepped down from that. He still plays at churches, but I think he's doing like an exchange recovery church is what he typically does. He does music lessons primarily. So he'll do it
Really?
out of his home in different areas. He teaches guitar, voice. No, he can do piano. He has had banjo students and maybe mandolin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
So music has
gosh.
been a big theme in my life as well.
That's great. I mean, because I'm a musician too, so I appreciate that. Did he teach Matt? Is that how does Matt owe him his whole career? I'm kidding.
No, I know, right? Yeah, no, no, it's funny. I know there's been a lot of connections. So I grew up like I kept trying to play guitar because my dad played guitar. I wanted to be a guitar, and I kept trying to sing. And my sister played piano. I tried playing guitar and singing, and it kind of took me to find my footing there. Where finally somebody gave me a mandolin, and
Mhm.
I love it. I wouldn't say I'm incredibly excellent at it, but I really enjoy playing mandolin. And then I also jammed with some buddies for a while. I got into playing the electric bass a little bit.
Nice.
Again, it's more just for fun and like jam style. And then I started singing more, and I realized over the years that my voice is at a lower register. So I
Okay.
found songs and a style of singing that works really well for my voice. So it's just something I kind of, again, dabble in for fun.
So that's interesting. And your dad knowing how to be teach vocal lessons and stuff. Your voice doesn't like sound that deep, but
Mhm.
your singing voice, you're not going to be hitting the high E above C and all that or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. I used to
Okay.
be able to sing a lot higher, and then just years of being too harsh and stuff. I like to sing like Grace Slick, Jefferson Airplane.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. I can sing some Mama Cass, like Mamas and the Papas.
So
I
you must have had music growing up and you're from your parents because you're too young to know this stuff, to know these artists.
I would say, well, I listened to a lot of Christian music growing up.
Yep.
So when I got to be 18, that's when I moved out pretty quick. I was kind of the more little rebellious younger sister. My
I'm
parents were
shocked.
so gracious. I know I'm the one with all the tattoos, but I have such an amazing family. They just love me so much. But that's when I got into the Beatles, was probably my number one, and started discovering the music of the late 60s. And that changed my life because that's some of my favorite music around for sure. I
Yeah,
just
there's
think,
a reason it still stands up. It was good
mhm,
music.
exactly, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So you were a little bit of a rebel at 18.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things like you feel bad when you have great parents, you're raised in the church, but I think I needed to kind of wander off and party a little bit in my college years and go to a lot of festivals, of course, and have those experiences and be glad for those times. And then I did get pregnant at 24
Mhm.
by somebody I wasn't really attached to necessarily. And so that was also another experience where I was like, wow. I remember telling my pastor at the time, he was of Epikos Church, and he was like, instead of being like harsh and disappointed, he was like, wow, this is really going to ground you and anchor you. I said, yes, it is. And so that was actually a big blessing.
Yes.
Like one might be really scared, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a baby now. I just spent 6 years, 18 to 24, like partying and, camping a lot, living in the woods. And I took it as an opportunity to feel
Yes.
grateful that I'm going to bring a person into this world. And how do I want to show up? And what am I going to learn from this? Like, yeah, and I can't even believe my parents are still married because it's really rare. And even though I thought that, oh, maybe that's my path, I'd love to get married and have a big family and have that. It hasn't worked out that way. And yet I just figure like I'm just thankful. And I think that this is the path I was meant to have, even though, like I said, even with the coffee house, you think this is how it might go, and then you make decisions and you get taken other directions because of decisions you've made, and you just have to continue to come back to yourself and say, I love myself.
Yes.
I love my journey. I'm grateful for the things I've experienced. And some of it has been hard, of course, right?
Hmm.
But like, again, do I spend so much time being like, oh, I just regret this and I'm mad about this and disappointed? Or is it like, hey, yeah, I'm thankful for opportunities and the growth and the expansion?
Absolutely. And you have some great artwork there. Is that a local artist that did your tattoos?
Yes, I was seeing, well, now some of it was done by somebody who's gone in Chicago. Somebody else is named Daniel, and he's up in Tacoma. Now I go to somebody named Christopher Rice,
Hmm.
and he's who most recently, and that's what's funny is that today he's actually finishing this piece.
Oh, nice.
I have a little bit more I'm getting work done today. So it's been really nice. He's in Portland off of Woodstock.
Okay. Yep. I know the area.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy crap. That looks
I like
amazing.
I like tattoos. I feel like it's a really sacred moment, and I love art. And so
Hmm.
a lot of the tattoos I've thought about for years. And then it is painful, but I kind of like integrating that again because rather than running from the pain, how do we learn to experience pain in its fullness,
Hmm.
draw strength from it and resilience? And
Absolutely.
so, yeah.
And you also, okay, so you're into poetry and it sounds you've even like yeah, you have I don't know what you want to call it. It's almost like a an open mic night for poetry. Is that kind of what you do? The spoken word thing?
I mean, that's what's so funny is I did do a couple workshops with a friend where I was showing people how I write and giving them inspiration. I've gone to a couple different open mics and shared my own poems. I just love encouraging folks like writing and journaling. It comes up a lot, and I just think it's so healing to sit down. And sometimes I type it out, that's okay too, or sometimes I take pen and paper. And it's just been such a great way to process. And it's just like to allow yourself to quiet down and let the words come and not judge yourself, just free flow.
Hmm.
Pretty awesome.
Like I said, you have a lot of irons in the fire, it sounds like.
Hmm.
How many days a week are you teaching yoga?
Right now, one, and then I just started, that's on Thursdays. I started doing kind of like I called it Fire Horse because that's the Chinese zodiac of the year. And I thought, wow, fire and horse, those are both really. I've been getting into strength training. So, as
Yeah.
much as I love flexibility and slowing down, I'm also have been the last few years focusing on building muscle.
Hmm.
And so, on Monday nights, I think it's also at 6 o'clock. Yes, it is. I'm doing some strength training exercises for about 45 minutes and encouraging folks, even if you have your own practice, I play really upbeat, fun, kind of electronic dance music, and you
Hmm.
can come and do some squats or whatever it is you need because it's such a good balance. I think it's hard for people to move. Like we're either like ends of the spectrum where it's either like people are so energized, they
Hmm.
can't stop moving, they're ADD. So that's why I like the yin, where it's
Yep.
like, or if you're more on the other spectrum where, you just want to cozy up and it's really hard to get up and feel motivated because you just want to zone, come down on Monday nights and channel some of that uplifting energy. Get your body moving, listen to some music, and like focus on building the muscle. So I like
Yes, I'm also in the last 10 years or so gotten really into longevity, health, improving health span, not just lifespan.
that.
You understand the difference. You still, because I don't want to just live to 85. I want to be functional all the way to 85. And
That's awesome.
strength training, especially for women, but both men, also men, strength training is so important, especially as we age.
Yeah.
And it's not about the who can bench press the most. As you get older, it's more about functional, real world training. I want to be able to pick up a grandkid. I want to be able
Mhm.
to carry my groceries up the stairs,
Yes.
because especially as we age, the inner grip strength becomes so important. The ability to stop yourself going downhill,
Yeah.
down steps. if you're in your 70s and you miss a step going downhill or downstairs, you have to have, if you don't have the strength to reach out and stop yourself, that's how you fall and break hips, and then you become immobile, and then the end of the life. So yeah, you again, it doesn't have, it's not, it's kettlebells are great, functional training is great, but you have to do resistance training, especially for women and osteoporosis. You have to put stress
Yeah.
on the bones.
I love it. I know one thing I'd like to shout out is Spears Strong. Jonathan and Shelby Spears are amazing. I've known them from being in downtown Camas for so many years, and they have a gym in Washougal,
Hmm.
kind of like off of Third. Like it's kind of tucked back, but it's really not hard to find. And I've started working out with them. They have a trainer, Sarah, there.
Hmm.
They're incredible. I do like a women's strength training series, and I just really enjoy that balance. I think it's good to bring that in, like you're saying, for so many reasons.
Yes, and
Mhm.
so, and even again, real world training. Go out and hike. We have so many amazing trails out in the gorge.
Mhm.
Hike. Don't just get on a treadmill for 30 minutes. Go out and
Yes.
hike and get on uneven terrain and keep your body used to handling, I'm going to step here and this is an unstable rock or whatever. That applies a
Yeah.
lot more, especially as we age. And I'm a lot
Mhm.
older than you, so it's like that's where I'm focusing now. Luckily, working in the tire shop, I have a very active job. It's almost like I can get a workout in and I'm getting paid.
Yeah, me too. I lift like so many gallons of milk every day working as
Yeah,
a
and so you
barista.
just do 10 reps.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like there's a lot to that lifting and moving and squatting down to lift things up. I mean, I think you're right. It's so important that we continue to move, and it comes up in a lot of areas where I like this balance of a life philosophy of like bringing yourself to a new edge. Like I think we don't want to over push ourselves, overexert, because then you're going to be injured.
Yeah.
But it comes up in yin a lot where I'm like, see where your edge is, where you can start to really feel something shifting or whatever it is that we're doing, like, discomfort. Like maybe you do something that makes you feel a little uncomfortable, breathe through it, ground yourself, because that's how you can grow
Yep.
and change is by bringing yourself to an edge, but then recognizing that you don't need to like overdo it. You don't need to like work so hard that then you're like exhausted and you're so drained that you're like, I never want to do that again. And it's like, well,
Yes.
then that's a bummer too.
Yes, I've heard so many people. One guy is a friend I went to high school with who's now a trainer, but and I've heard a lot of people use these mantras. It's like, hey, do something uncomfortable every day. Do something hard. Do something that sucks every morning, because then the rest of your day is easy by comparison.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
That's
it,
so
and it
funny.
builds it builds like mental resilience, whether it's getting up and doing the ice bath for a minute every more 5 minutes every morning. It's gonna suck and you don't want to do it. But once you do it, the rest of your day looks pretty easy. Once you know
Interesting.
what I mean?
That's so funny. One of my best friends, Emily Olson, she owns Ripple Wellness in Washugo with her husband, Jeff, and she's training me in breath work. And so it's a little different where she's teaching me to use my diaphragm, and I am so glad. And it's funny because it's not necessarily something that at the moment is really uncomfortable for me, but I'm just noticing I'm not taking full deep breaths. I'm not like I'm connecting with my breath more and doing some different breath techniques when I'm stressed and things. Like at work, I'll be like, okay, take some deep breaths. But I didn't realize how we breathe can affect things too. So it's funny that you say start your day with something because just this week she gave me that homework where I'm like,
Oh,
because I wake up ready to go, I'm like, okay,
yes.
before I jump out of bed, do some deep breathing.
So yeah, I wouldn't have thought about that, but she's talking about you go through your normal daily routine, but if you're limiting your breathing, how
Mhm.
that's going to affect you, like it just, I guess it's stress, anxiety of your daily life, whether it's work or whatever. That can have some negative effects, and you don't even realize you're taking short breaths. Maybe that's what you're talking about.
Exactly. Shallow breathing. She mentioned that yesterday. Emily was talking about how, of course, panic attacks, that's quite simply a lot of like inhale
Yeah.
We get so worried, we get so stressed. So I've just already on my own the past few months started recognizing like how am I breathing? Am I like slowing down, taking some deep breaths? And the exhale is so important too. Like we take a lot of times like and then but it's really good to fully inhale, fully exhale, get your breath into the lower belly. It's just all these things that I'm like, it's interesting to think about. And like, I don't try to stress myself out when I'm thinking about all these things, right? Because it brings us back to that theme of like, I dabble in so many things, and people are like, how can you do so much? I'm like, well, I kind of let it all go. Like, if I want to focus on this for a few months, I do. And then there'll be a few months that I play a lot of mandolin. And then I'm like, oh, I haven't played in 6 months. Oh, well, like, I think we put so much pressure on ourselves, and we need to remember, like, a goal does not have to be linear. Whatever you're doing, you don't have to set this goal and be like, I'm going to do it for the whole year. It's like, let yourself do it for a time, walk away, come back to it. Like
Yes.
maybe when you finish doing something that with you met your goal. You're like, oh, I had a goal that I was going to work out every day and then I stopped. It's like, no, you just met your goal. Like, and I think if we kind of started approaching life in that way, maybe we would incur less stress and less anxiety because we'd be like, oh, I was ready to shift. I was ready to change my focus.
Well, and a lot of I mean, all these things that you have going on in your life, they're actually all seem to be kind of connected. Obviously, the breathing is a big part of yoga, for God's sakes, right?
Yeah, it really is. Because it brings you to the moment, it brings you to the present, and it connects you with yourself because we breathe so many, what did Emily say yesterday? 20,000 times or more a day. But like, are you really thinking about breathing? Are you connecting with that part of yourself? And so, yeah,
Yes.
it's
So you're
important.
not going anywhere. You're happy in Camas. You're gonna stay there. Obviously, your daughter's in school here, so and your
Yes.
family's here and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I like traveling. I've traveled some. I'd love to travel more. But I really like this area. I really like being by my family. I really like Southwest Washington. I
Mhm.
say I like Portland because I've never worked there and I've never lived there. So like I don't mind. Like I like living near Portland because I like go in knowing what I'm coming in for, and it's like I grew up kind of going to Portland. So, and then there are parts that I like to explore of Washington and Oregon. Like my daughter and I were going to finally go to Ashland to see the Shakespeare Festival.
Yes, I haven't had the opportunity to see a play, but I've been there and kind of walked around.
Yeah.
It was off season, so it wasn't open, but I've totally walked around the entire structure where they put the plays on and have the festival. Yeah,
Awesome.
Ashland is a cool town, and when you get down there,
Hmm.
it's only a 20 or 30-minute drive, but go out and check out Jacksonville, which is just a little west, kind of in the country, but it is the cutest small little town, very
Awesome.
artsy, very historic. But yeah, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville Market. That's
Yeah, it is a cool little town. Like there was a time several years ago where I had thought about I put into transfer for an opportunity at the Costco in Medford,
hmm.
and so we went down just as a scouting trip, just like, oh well, if we're down here, where would I want to live? And we found Jacksonville, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I get this job, it's going to be a longer commute, but I want to live in Jacksonville. It's a
Yeah.
really cute little town.
I love that. I know. That's why it's like I love little towns. I love that Camas has such a thriving downtown. I love that we have some trails. It's not too far to go to Washougal. I love Washougal too and get some river access. And so I think it's a really nice area. I wish we would kind of slow down on the building, which is hard because actually I've met a lot of the builders, the people that are putting in housing developments. But I just love land and I love trees. And I think it's like, at what point it would be nice if we kind of slowed down a little bit. Even though everybody wants to live here, it's like, we can't, once we take away the land and the trees,
Yep.
you
You
can
can't get
plant
it
them
back.
again. But yeah, I just want to keep honoring that. I think it's really important for people to connect with that.
Yes, and again, I love that we have, especially from where you're at. But I'm in the Fisher's Landing area, but like
Mhm.
within what 15 minutes on SR 14, I'm in the gorge. Like it's that
Yes,
quick.
it's incredible. I really love going into the gorge. It's so beautiful.
In fact, I think we're going to go out there today because I only a 20% chance of rain. We need to do a hike. It's been too long, but we're going to go out
Yes.
there and do something.
I say rain is great. I like hiking in the rain if you've got some good rain gear because it's just fresher out there. It sounds beautiful. That's what's funny about living up here is I actually really like rain and clouds. Like I don't really mind it. I think it's a beautiful thing. It keeps it green. I mean, the sun is nice and the heat, but I really like the weather we have around here. I think it can
Yes, and as long as it's not a downpour, yeah, I definitely appreciate the
true.
rain.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wish it would snow. I can't believe it's March and we haven't gotten like a ground level snow. I was hoping for a little dusting. I like to ski sometimes, so I'm like,
Yes. I haven't, I'm a snowboarder. I haven't made it up
like,
this year, but it's been a tough year.
I
Did you make it
know.
up skiing this year?
I made it up to Timberline once. Some of the trails were definitely closed. The day we went, it was definitely warm. I was like skiing in a tank top.
Yeah.
I have a couple more passes that I'll go up in the spring. So, oh well, hoping for next year we'll get a little bit more snow. Skiing has been a lot of fun. I didn't ever see myself as somebody typically athletic, but I find that skiing is really freeing, and
Yeah.
I just love being up on the mountain and in that elevation. It's really different. So
There's
I.
something that's what and whether you're skiing, snowboarding, I love being out on the mountain. There's something about being out there and you're not on a you're not on a motorcycle or you're not
Mhm.
on a snowmobile. When you're just on a board, I feel like you can connect with nature a lot better.
Mhm.
And I usually do meadows, so you go
Yeah.
all the way up to top of Cascade, and then you can take that long run. If you're coming down from Cascade, it's all the way to the right, and it runs you. But there's a place a
Oh,
little bit more,
Vista.
maybe
Oh,
halfway down. You can just stop and rest and just take in the vista.
oh, it's
It's
beautiful. I used to ski at Meadows too. I love it up there. And I remember that was what's crazy is when you're at the top of Cascade, you can go towards the right and go all the way down. And that was a beautiful run. And then I've had some experienced folks take me to the left and I'd get a chance. And I thought, man, if I wasn't on skis, like I don't know if I'd get to go to the A zone and go to these huge. I mean, it was kind of scary. So I think again, it brings in that comfort of like, I remember just being like, okay, breathe, take a
yes.
moment, notice how beautiful this is, that you're on this mountain with snow and trees and there's wildlife out here, and just have that gratitude and then just go for it, and like, and so yeah.
Did your friends dump you into Heather Canyon?
Yes, I love
Oh
the Heather
God,
Canyon. I
I
know,
did
but I
that
couldn't get
once, and I have not forgiven my friend.
I know. Call my ex would be like, "Keep your speed," and he would just go, and I'd be like, "I don't want to," because I tend to ski a little bit slower. So I just remember like kind of carving it around. Like I've taught my daughter to ski, and I have a couple friends that want to go up with me, and I always just like, well, like go across, and weave back and forth and know like I don't know. I remembered even sometimes I'd go into the outback of Ski Bowl, which is
Yeah.
like and when you get there, it would be so steep. I would even just like side slip a little bit down because I'm like, okay, this is really steep. And it's knowing that edge, like I don't want to get injured. I gotta be a mom, I gotta work. I don't, but it is really thrilling and exciting to be in some of those areas.
Yes, again, I just love being out in nature, whether it's hiking,
Yeah.
snowboarding. I'm not going to make it up this year, I don't think.
Mhm.
But in
Get
fact,
to
it
get
was funny.
outside.
Why did I put my winter tires on my car? I didn't even need them. Like I'm
Well,
just,
I still have mine for sale. If you have a size 27 snow, I'm just kidding. I had to get a new car this year. That was a journey. So then I have my snow tires, and of course, this year it hasn't really snowed much. So, maybe one of these years somebody will need them. But yeah, I didn't need snow tires this year. So.
yes, yes. A new car, your old one broke down, or it was just time for an upgrade?
That was interesting. Another life, I was parked somewhere and I heard a loud crash. Thank God I wasn't in the car. A drug driver hit my car.
Oh, Jesus, when it was just parked on the street?
I was at, I think it's called 10 Mile. It was like a sharp curve near Frenchman's Bar, and my car was parked there, and I just heard a loud boom and came out, and somebody crashed and hit my car. The blessing was I had said I wanted to drive my car paid off
Hmm.
for at least a year, and I had had it for about a year and a half, no car payment
Yeah.
before someone hit it. And so that was an interesting experience to be like, wow, okay, I had about a month and a half of like raising money, working extra, borrowing cars. I did some really good research and was able to get a Honda CRV, like a
Mhm.
2013,
Yeah.
and I was able to pay it off. So that's good because I almost was tempted to get like a 2018 Honda CRV and all that. And I was like, well, The years, even though it's an older car and it had one owner and it had a really good track record, so I'm really thankful now that I'm hoping that. But you just never know. Like there
Yes.
wasn't any way I could have prevented somebody from hitting my car, and it was just sad because actually I haven't drank in 3 years.
Okay.
So to also have that experience, I was like, man, I'm just glad that I don't ever risk that anymore. I don't drink alcohol.
Yep.
I have friends that do, but it was like some young guy, and I was like, sorry, man, I had to call the police because he
Yeah.
shouldn't have been like he didn't need to drive anymore.
Yeah, don't be sorry about that. No,
Yeah.
but Honda's one owner, if it was taken care of, those things will run forever. And you said you've already paid
Yes.
it off, so you're back to not having a car payment.
Yes, I'm so glad. I'm so glad because it's like I live by myself in a duplex and I'm like, okay, I gotta have a lot of management. I gotta be really careful. And so rather than, getting something newer with less miles, this one has about 160, I think. I
Hmm.
was like, well, I'm just gonna keep treating it well and
Yeah.
being, mindful of it. So,
Yes, I for the longest time had did not have a car payment, and then I ended up um long story, but I ended up with I have a 93 Nissan pickup, the little, red hard body pickups
yeah.
that obviously is paid off, but then at some point I was like, okay, I need to get something a little newer and something that better gas mileage and something that is not going to I don't have to worry about if I drive to the Oregon coast it might break down. So I did for the first time I picked up a 2016 Prius, which I friggin' love. The
Oh,
gas
yeah.
mileage is amazing,
That's
but
a
now I have a car payment and I'm like, okay, but it's not exorbitant.
yeah.
And it's nice to have two cars. If something happens to one, I've got a backup. But
That's
yeah, I'm
awesome.
so glad you paid it off because car payments suck. I mean, sometimes you have to have them, but
Yeah.
I'd rather not.
I know, right? And I was like, well, maybe eventually I will get something newer in the future, but for right now it works really well. It works
And it's
awesome.
not like it sounds like I mean, your jobs, everything you do is kind of in the area. It's not like you're commuting to Portland every day.
No, at one point I was living in the Dugan Falls neighborhood. I lived up there for about 3 years, and that was beautiful being at the end of Washougal River Road. But then last spring, I was like, all right, I'm actually going to venture back out on my own and live by myself again and just support my daughter.
Mhm.
And so then it was crazy that like my sister came down, we found out that she had cancer. So I was like glad to be back in town for her. I mean, it's beautiful living out in the country, but I'm so glad that I'm just back in Camas now. I think I'm
Yeah,
really meant to be here.
it's very convenient.
It is.
So she's going through treatment.
She is. She did some chemo and radiation before, and so I think now she's going to try immunotherapy.
Yeah,
So we're
yes.
hoping that that really helps too. She's got some different tests and things, so I'm just always keeping her on my mind. Yeah. So,
Yes, sending out lots of positive energy. The
thank
the,
you.
the immunotherapy has I've heard a lot of good things about it. I have friends have gone through it recently. But yeah, that's kind of been a game changer.
Uh,
Especially after dealing with chemo. I think it really helps your body repair itself. I that's kind of the point.
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
we have high hopes for that. And she's also working with some different like naturopath oncologists, so that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Use it all,
Yeah, use it all. She's like going to oxygen tanks. I don't know. She's doing all sorts of things. That's why I'm always a fan of like hit it from all the sides. I think it's really good. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right. It's been a little over an hour. You have been way too kind with your time, so I'm going to let you go. You have some tattoo work to get done.
Yes, it's been so lovely talking with you. I appreciate so much the opportunity to share about myself and my journey. So
No,
thank
this was amazing. I could keep talking to you longer, but again, you need to wake your daughter up. Get her a cup
Yeah,
of
it's not
coffee.
almost 9:30. She got to get up, get going for the day. Well, I hope to see you around. It's so
You
awesome
will.
to work with
I
people.
will come into Squeeze and Grind. Do you have a regular schedule?
Yeah, I'm there Tuesdays through Fridays. So I
Okay.
love when people stop in to see me. It's a great place. Lots of great baristas, no matter what day you go.
Well,
So
that's what I was going to ask. Where do they source their coffee from?
we get it from Nine Bar.
Okay.
Corey, I can't think of his last name, but Corey's the roaster with Nine Bar. It's incredible. I really like the coffee. I liked it when I was at Piccolo. We had Umbria. It was great. I just love all sorts of coffee. So I'm
Yes,
like a
I'm
non-coffee
definitely.
snob. I just love coffee. So I'm like Hidden River Roaster is great. Like I like trying different ones and appreciating all the different things. So
Heck
yeah.
yeah, I will definitely stop in. And so
Awesome.
once I hit stop recording, I'll post it. It'll be up today, and I'll tag you in it.
Awesome.
But Yes, Ali, I really appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Take care.
So I will stop recording and we can say bye. End. Where am I? Oh, there it is.